sorry, this is a little bit dusty. And we do warn you of the old-fashioned language you're about to hear. We've been prepared for this for quite a long time. We're going to tell you a story about patience, endurance, kindness, white lies, and most importantly, true love. And as all great love stories should be, it is written in the style of one of Nina's heroes, Jane Austen, and weirdly leaning on from Tommy's quote. Totally unplanned. Okay, the title is Patience and the Pullmans. A sister's love is both fierce and unyielding, the full intensity of which may be felt amid the heat of a dispute or at any emotional goodbye. Such was the case for the Pullman sisters. Miss Nina, the eldest of 3 daughters, possessed a will as strong as her confidence, defining her independence. She was herself from the start. Her beauty was equal to her sharp intelligence, matched by her adventurous spirit and her brilliant wit. Many admired Miss Nina, but none as much as her 2 younger sisters, who adored her, and so were very unsure as to whether anyone would be worthy of her hand. This tale begins 2 decades ago, when these 3 fair girls were but 12, 14, and 16 years of age. Though a mere span of 2 years may appear trivial, within the intricate tapestry of a young lady's life, these intervals represent profound milestones, often unfathomable to the tender imaginations of younger sisters. It was in this setting that Miss Bry and Miss Elsa discovered that their elder sister had engaged in courtship with a new gentleman. And behold, he possessed a most enviable carriage. There was a micra. At first, the sisters beheld the newcomer, a Mr. Pair of Fairways, with indifference, delivering their opinions upon the matter with an unreserved and somewhat audacious frankness. They were unimpressed and taken aback by their romance-stricken sister's affections for Mr. Pair, particularly by her use of the term babe. When their mother inquired as to the durability of such romance, the sisters confidently proclaimed, it definitely won't last. Yet, as fate would have it, their assessment proved wrong on all accounts. The young man continued to linger on the scene for a good few months, thereby compelling the sisters to subject him to a variety of tests, desperate to ascertain if he could indeed fulfill the lofty romantic ideals that Miss Nina had long read about in her books. Test number 1, holidays with the Pullmans. The standard of merit for this test was to simply enjoy such trips, starting with a camping holiday in Wales. As easy as this may seem, the nature of such enjoyment might not be so easily achieved for one who had never previously experienced the singular joys of a tent set upon British soil. However, to the astonishment of the younger sisters, he persevered with surprising joy. Yes, Mr. Peer had his own, shall we say, methods and quirks to get through the week, and the Pullmans were privately but collectively astounded to witness him meandering upon a damp Welsh beach, wearing white socks, no shoes, whilst brandishing a rather flamboyant umbrella. With the passage of time, Mr. Pet of Fairways only further demonstrated his fortitude in the realm of vacations, braving every conceivable weather, ill temper, style afflictions, and adventures. For instance, undertaking the formidable kayak expedition with the sisters to their newly christened isle upon Lake Windermere, whimsically dubbed Tabrelsamere. Test 1 triumphantly passed. Test number 2, dinners at the Pullmans. For those who have enjoyed dinner at the Pullman house, the experience is, shall we say, somewhat intense. Delightful, but intense. Guests are not afforded the luxury of light-hearted small talk, no matter how new or shy of an acquaintance they are. This was no different for Mr. Pear. For this test, the young gentleman's pass criteria was split. Firstly, to maintain his composure amidst probing inquiries, and secondly, not to lose his shit in the presence of 2 excessively foolish sisters. Initially, young Mr. Pear exhibited commendable skill in evading the Pullman abode, darting in and out under cover of darkness. But
Unfortunately for him, these dinners could not be avoided forever. Amidst the din and animated exchanges, voices sought to drown one another out. Inevitably, the ever-dreaded question was directed at Mr. Pear. What do you think about it, Tommy? Time and again, however, he responded with a clarity and thoughtfulness that rendered the otherwise incessantly noisy Pullmans momentarily speechless. The considerate contributions of Mr. Pear could not be rushed, even when interjected by Miss Nina with an impatient, well, are you going to contribute to the conversation? Mr. Pear of Fairways had once again emerged triumphant from the test.
Test number 3, the peculiar rituals of the Pullman family. It did not escape the notice of her close family and friends that Miss Nina possessed a most profound affection for tradition. Whether it came from her love of period literature or her stubborn Taurus traits, it was something that would not be compromised. This trait presented a particular quandary for dear Mr. Pear, for it encapsulated the essence of the Pullman family during festivities. Among these was the ritual of gift giving, in particular on birthdays and Christmases. It was customary for the Pullmans to gather in an eager assembly where the unwrapping of carefully chosen presents was done in full view, one by one, not unlike a sort of show or spectacle, a potentially uncomfortable experience for some.
The measure of Mr. Pear's success in this test, to exhibit gratitude whilst concealing any signs of discomfort. It is safe to say that Mr. Pear found himself rather perplexed by the intensity of these customs, yet he remained unfazed, for with each festivity he was duly presented with offerings, which he was to unwrap in a silence that the Pullman family observed with bated breath. Miss Nina included. Time and again, the sisters marvelled at Mr. Pear's remarkable aptitude for this peculiar test, without the slightest hesitation, with an impressive grin.
The only hiccup in this otherwise harmonious affair was a minor miscommunication about Mr. Pear's rumoured fondness for cheese, a notion the Pullman sisters enthusiastically embraced, culminating in a series of cheese-related gifts until he bravely confessed that his love for strong cheeses had been rather exaggerated somewhere along the way.
One might be led to believe otherwise given the sumptuous cheese towel that sits in this marquee at the back. Not only did Mr. Pear succeed in his trial, but he became the ultimate gift giver and receiver, perhaps even enjoying it a little bit. Test number 4, parties with the Pullmans. Miss Nina loved a good party, a sentiment many of her close companions witnessed at venues such as Corporation, Electric Avenue, Ziggy's, and 50 Carrick Hill, and other such respectable establishments. It seemed only fitting to ensure Mr. Pear was put through his paces in this key aspect of Miss Nina's interests, and the pass mark for this test was to demonstrate stamina. In the early days, this was an easy win. Mr. Pear was youthful and brimming with vitality, and he loved moshing to punk rock. The perfect match for Nina, who would often be whisked away to a gig in her bell-bottoms and skater shoes.
As Mr. Pear aged with grace and began to appreciate the value of a good night's sleep, he ingeniously developed tactics to continue partying through the night with his beloved Miss Nina. One such tactic was the party nap, a slumber Mr. Pear fell into mid-frolic while people danced about, only to awake seamlessly as though resurrected a mere 20 minutes later, and rejoined the party to dance until the sun rose without even a yawn.
Test 5, the happiness of a most beloved sister. Undoubtedly, this test surpassed all others in its significance, and the sisters, steadfast in their observation for the past 18 years, had discovered not a shadow of doubt. Miss Bry and Miss Elsa could go on and on about the happiness Mr. Pear and their eldest sister brought to one another's lives, how they regard each other as the epitome of entertainment, how they function as a perfect team, and how their interests are perfectly aligned.
Yet, it was the dreaded but short-lived breakup that ultimately highlighted the successful outcome of Mr. Pear's final test. We shall not dwell upon this melancholic memory, apart from to note that the sole instant of Miss Nina's rare sadness arose during the month-long breakup from Mr. Pear in 2016. During this heartbreak, Nina's tears flowed non-stop, whilst Mr. Pear sought comfort from his close companion, Mr. Jolly of Ladybower, who suggested he should improve his physique to win back the heart of his most dear. It became abundantly clear to the sisters and everyone else in their lives that Miss Nina of Hathersage and Mr. Pear of Fairways were meant to be, their existence inextricably entwined, and neither could the Pullmans envisage their lives devoid of his presence. The couple were reunited, and their happiness returned. And their story continued and led us all here today to this beautiful marquee. We will end by saying this. It's a truth universally acknowledged that Nina and Tommy are two of the best people you will ever meet. Oh. And without question, they are perfectly matched. We love you both so much and are so happy to finally and officially welcome Tommy into our family as our brother. A toast to Nina and Tommy.
Brilliant.